Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, and today I am at the JCRA Arboretum in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm actually doing a really fun and inspiring presentation this morning on fragrant trees and shrubs throughout the seasons, and I figured since I was here I would go ahead and record a couple of different garden tours to show all the different areas that are growing here in the middle of October. So I hope that you'll enjoy this series of tours right here from the J.C. Ralston Arboretum. Well, as I walk through the main entry from the parking lot, I should say, the pink muhly is absolutely the thing that stops you in your tracks. And it's so magical to kind of walk up through it. It's soft, incredible, so beautiful. They've done a huge amount of renovation to this area, and it's just all such a great improvement. And I noticed today that I have a crinum that has just gone into flower, and I see they also do. Gotta love that crinum, especially with that beautiful pink muhly backdrop. So I have a little time before I go in to give my talk, so I think I will do this first section of the tour all throughout the entryway. You can see right down there is the education building, and they do have a big roof garden, which I'll show in another segment. But one of my favorite parts is this old section of the Arboretum with the two absolutely magnificent crepe myrtles. These are Lagerstromia farii, which is a much larger growing species. But here we have a really interesting plant. This is a piper, which is a type of pepper, and you can see it's almost like bamboo in a way. It does run. Here's its name, Piper arboretum, the root beer plant, and I love it. It's a dieback perennial, really big, bold foliage, obviously at this season. And this is its oddball flower. It's pretty interesting. And of course, paired with that, we are getting into camellia season. So here is a great variety, Camellias sasanqua Cyril. See that? And because we've been having cooler temperatures, the pink flowers are almost like lilac tinged. You get that from cooler temperatures. Sometimes you get like a blue or purple hue on a camellia. Now, another plant that I really have never noticed but looks so good here is this big stand of Carex cherokeensis. And you all know that I love this in my gardens, and it looks equally awesome here along this edge. And I do appreciate that they've been making new sort of pathways and entry points to the garden, something I need to work on. More cherokeensis sedge here. And this is gonna be a really special week of tours here at the Arboretum because the fall blooming camellias are really getting into full swing. You can see this one also with that great sort of blue tinge, which is absolutely from the cooler temperatures. I see there is a label. I'm not gonna try and guess on camellias that aren't in my own collection. This is a variety, Camellia vernalis hiryu. And you can see camellias do get quite large. They really aren't meant to be little green meatballs. They're really kind of small trees, sort of the size of a dogwood or a redbud. I mentioned that they've been busy putting in additional paths, and this is a path I don't think I've ever actually walked on. And it's nice when you have access on both sides of a bed. You can really see it from all directions. And I really appreciate that they've been kind of doing the Tony Avent style with some bermed beds, with some rock to increase drainage and make it so that they can grow some plants that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to grow due to being flat ground. Of course, when you have a berm, that gives you more exposure. You can see here the camellias, sorry, the cyclamen are really starting to flower. In fact, they might even be almost finishing at this point. This is cyclamen heterofolium, which is a fall blooming, winter active. You see it's just starting to put out its leaves, and those leaves will be out all winter long. They go completely dormant for the entire summer. They usually are flowering without foliage. You know I love live oaks. I put in 3, and part of my motivation for doing that was, in fact, this live oak here, which I think is so spectacular. And the last time I was here, there was actually a hawk hanging out here. I guess it's their resident juvenile hawk that sort of hunts. And they have plenty of rabbits for those hawks to grab. So rabbits are their biggest problem here. They don't have a deer issue, but rabbits can be equally destructive. And planted underneath this live oak are a lot of really great examples of plants that tolerate dry shade. So we've got this fabulous iris, nata, which honestly it doesn't even need to flower because the foliage is so bold. Of course, aspidistras and sable. This is sable uricana, different species than our native one. Sable minor is our native. Of course, Helleborus. This is Helleborus fetidus, and then you've got some different hybrid hellebores here. Heuchera, which are sort of marginal, very short-lived in our environment. And I'm shocked to see how well their hostas are doing. I can't keep hostas alive to save my life. But again, having it bermed is also beneficial for extra drainage. I'm not exactly sure what this ground cover is, but I really like it. I'll keep my eyes peeled. Is it Silenia ovifida? No, that's this right here. Tim is out of town, otherwise I would be making him walk with me. You gotta love the Dryopteris erythrosaura, the autumn fern. But this ground cover is really nice. I can't believe I've never noticed it before. And of course, you see the cyclamen are mixed in with that. Different carex. Cyclamen really do look so beautiful. This is the upside down fern, Arachnoides standicii. And that's a really pretty texture, especially with the Asarum. This is Asarum maximum ling ling, which is the panda-faced wild ginger. And directly at the base, you see Ruscus, which is a really hardy, animals don't bother it, evergreen, fairly slow growing. It's also very, very sharp. So it's not something you really want to go up and interact with and pet. And then related to that Ruscus is Danae. No, I'm sorry. This is another Ruscus. This is a hybrid Ruscus. Ruscus microglossus, butcher's broom. Danae is also another good option for an environment like this. I don't see any planted directly under here. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this quick installation of part 1 of my mid-October tour here at the Ralston Arboretum. And I look forward to sharing more throughout the week from all the different areas that are planted here. As always, thanks so much for watching. Happy planting.